What is up, guys? Maccabee Speed coming at you. A little bit of a change of pace from the airgun content that we've been doing lately. Gonna go ahead and get back into the Sluice box restoration. Today, not only are we gonna go ahead and christen the Sluice box with a brand new name for the brand new paint job and upgrades that we've been giving it lately, but we're also gonna get in the next step of the restoration, which is gonna be our mats, our miner's moss, and our punch plates. We'll go ahead and take a look at each of these factors and how they play into our Sluice box, and then go ahead and see exactly what type of painstaking, terrible work goes into manufacturing a punch plate to save a few bucks. Honestly, having done this myself, I definitely value the Sluice box more now that my own labor's in it. Let's get right into it, guys. Alright guys, more prospecting, Sluice box, and gold recovery action coming at you. Today we got the next set of upgrades on our Sluice box. I think that we need to go ahead and christen this beast before we go any further though, before we install the mats, before we install our miner's moss, get our riffles put together, or our punch plates, anything like that, we gotta name this thing. Because this is primarily an airgun channel, I think that the only acceptable name for this is gonna be the Red Ryder. Honestly, the Red Ryder has a place in a lot of airgunners' hearts, probably the first airgun that a lot of people end up getting, and it's, you know, highly stylized in the movie A Christmas Story with Ralphie and Neil, you shoot your eye out. So I think that that's going to definitely be the name we'll go with. This is going to be our Red Ryder. First upgrade that we got today for the Red Ryder Sluice box is going to be this mat. This kind of triangle profile stuff that you see here. Each one of those profiles is about, I don't know, 1/16 to 1/8 of an inch tall, and they're just basically it's just basically a lowest level riffle that'll end up going at the very bottom of everything that we go as far as our gold catches are concerned, so that we can try and retain as much fine gold in the Sluice run as we possibly can. Fine gold is the hardest to capture, and hopefully these little mini riffles will be able to get as much of it as possible. Basically, guys, these just lay right in. Alright guys, just like so. This is going to be a perfect fit right here. These are all 10-inch wide sections. All of these are pretty much interchangeable, but these two are kind of longer steps for whatever reason. When I made it, I tried to make it so everything was uniform, so I could kind of change everything within the steps, you know, between each one of them, but it didn't work out like that. It's the human element, I guess. So I just have a couple of larger pieces that sit there, and the rest of them, like I said, are all uniform steps. This top step is actually not part of these drop riffles. It's actually part of this transition. So this here will not get any mat or any punch plates whatsoever. Now this stuff, guys, this is just your basic standard issue 16th inch miner's moss. This is really common stuff. Basically all I had in my garage. We're going to go ahead and double up the layers because I know where we're going has a lot of fine gold, and we're really trying to maximize that recovery. So instead of just single layering this really fine, really thin stuff, we're going to go ahead and put a bottom layer of the orange ones, and the top layer is going to be these other color ones as well. I just kind of start from the bottom, right, because I want them to overlap in the correct direction, and just kind of push them back into the step. Just kind of slightly overlapping them. It takes 3 pieces of this miner's moss material to go ahead and load the Sluice box. Just kind of overlapping them, and I just know from previous experience it takes 3 pieces of this 18-inch miner's moss here, 18 by 10, to go ahead and get all the way up the Sluice box steps. top of that, we'll just go ahead and throw our final layer here. Same style of installation, just, you know, layering it from the bottom to the top. That way you get that correct travel over your sluice box. You don't end up having, you know, rocks go under this when they should be going over this. Alright guys, that's the basic layout for our sluice with our lower mats and then our miner's moss as well. It won't fully look like it's 100% together until we go ahead and get our punch plate riffles made, but we're close guys. So let's go ahead and move into the shop and I'll show you what I have made for punch plates and what it takes to manufacture the rest of the punch plates that I still have to do. Alright guys, as you probably saw in the last clip, these are punch plates and they are very time consuming to make, but unfortunately I actually lost the previous like expanded metal wire screens that I made with this sluice box initially, and I'm kind of forced into this at this point. I went to Lowe's kind of as like an exploratory mission to see if I could find the same type of expanded metal. It's just not really available for the same cheap price that it was, you know, 10 years ago when I made the sluice box. So instead of going through all the trouble and 70 bucks and the, you know, the temporary type status that an expanded metal riffle really is, I decided to go ahead and make some punch plates. Punch plates work, let me zoom you guys in here real quick. Punch plates are basically just a whole bunch of holes, and gold is super heavy, so gold is going to fall through those holes into the mats and hopefully be retained there. The lighter material is going to go ahead and wash out of these holes and then, you know, get on down the river as tailings. I wanted to go ahead and make two that were this size in front of you, which is 1/4 inch, two that were approximately 3/8 of an inch, two that were 1/2 of an inch, and then one real big one right at the bottom, guys. Let's see if we can't get these knocked out. Alright guys, here we are back out in the backyard now, and we have the top 3 layers of our punch plates taken care of at this point. We got our 1/4 inch plate, 1/4 inch plate, 3/8 inch plate. Now we're going to go with a 3/8 inch plate right here, a 1/2 inch plate on this step, a 1/2 inch plate on this step, and then a larger plate on the bottom step. Probably somewhere around 3/4 of an inch. And these basically just kind of sit in and slide in, and they would just go ahead and sit in place like so. What we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to drill through the outside here and into this thicker steel piece here that's kind of sticking up off of each one of these punch plates, and then go ahead and tap some threads. That way we can just go ahead and remove these at the end of each time we use the sluice and clean our box out that way when we're at the river. So as far as being able to actually make this river ready to where it'd be ready to drop in the river, I think that we have, let's see, 4 plates left to do. We have our tapping and drilling of the sides of the box into the punch plates themselves to do. We're going to want to go ahead and strip and powder coat each one of these punch plates into like a flat black color. That way we can clearly see our gold in each one of the pockets there. And you know, depending on how it goes, I think I'm going to go ahead and leave it like it sits currently until I test it in the river. But but if need be, I'll go ahead and add an actual standardized riffle to each one of these punch plates, just kind of weld in a little piece of steel, and that'll function fine. Alright guys, so I think it's a great place to end the video. I definitely want to continue to work on the punch plates, but I definitely don't want to kind of bore you guys with drilling 1,000 holes like I have to do with the rest of my afternoon. I also don't want to miss another day of uploads for you though, so I'm definitely going to get this thing edited and get it online for all you prospectors out there who may follow this channel. The reason I'm trying to get this all together, and the reason why I'm trying to make sure that the sluice box ends up in its finished format this week, is because there may be a secret gold trip coming up, guys. I may have a spot all scoped out, all planned out, to where we can actually get this thing in the river and actually do some real prospecting, move some gravels, and see if we can't get some chunky gold. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. You want to see more content like this, make sure you subscribe for more with that notifications button so you can stay current on what new videos are coming out, as well as what else is going on the channel. If you really like this video, make sure you share it so somebody else can see it, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.